Welcome to Menopause Monday. So in today's Menopause Monday, we are going to be talking about a detox, a 10-day detox, which I think is a great opportunity to sort of clear away the excesses of the summer and just set us up for success throughout the autumnal months as we prepare to get ready for the festive side of the year, which is going to be coming upon us really, really soon. So the reason I say it's for 10 days is because it's going to probably take you a few days just to get over some of the, maybe you might be a bit headachy if you're cutting out, reducing your sugar, if you're coming off caffeine and things like that. Sometimes it can give you a bit of a headache for sort of 3 or 4 days. You might even get a few joint pains, but after that, you're going to start to notice the benefits of the detox. So the reason for 10 days is it gives you long enough to get through sort of the early parts of it, really get into the flow of it, and then actually start to feel like your really zingy self. And maybe even after 10 days, you'll continue your healthy habits. Now, this detox is not about deprivation. It's not about calorie counting. If it's something that you don't enjoy doing, you're not going to do it. It's really about crowding out the bad with the good and just setting yourself up for a few healthy habits that are going to support you. And also, if you want to lose weight, you will lose a little bit of weight naturally because you're cutting out some of the more processed foods, the things that set up negative chemical reactions in your body. And I'm just going to give you a few tips and hints as to how to set yourself up for success for a 10-day detox. It's not something that you need to stop work for. If you do a heavy duty workout schedule like I do, I would suggest you perhaps knock that back a little, but see how you go. I mean, this is really going to be fueling you for energy. Like I say, you're going to be eating regularly, so it might be that you could maintain your workout routine. I do think it's very important to make time for you specifically through those 10 days. So allocate 30 minutes a day where it is just time for you. So you might want to go for a nice stroll outside and maybe listen to a personal development audio book. Or one way I love to do it is I lie on my back flat on the floor and I put my feet up on the wall. So my bum is virtually touching the wall and my feet are elevated up against the wall. And I just lie there with my arms spread out and no pillow. I just go right flat back, and I either just do some deep breathing. Deep breathing is really important for our health, and also sometimes listen to a personal development audio book. Great books along those lines are things like The Compound Effect, Atomic Habits. Just have a look in Amazon and just choose one that really appeals to you, because there's such a huge range of different books that you might want to read. The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. There's loads of them. So, what suits me may not suit you. But I think if you're feeding your brain with something positive, it's going to support your 10-day detox too. So as we're going through the menopause, it affects us on several different levels. The falling amount of estrogen essentially means that we tend to have sort of reduced immune function. It does affect our liver quite significantly, and that can sort of set us up for an immune system that's not quite so powerful. Our cellular degradation, so the breakdown of our cells, isn't renewed as effectively as it might otherwise have been prior to menopause. It also affects on the sort of mitochondrial capacity of our cells. So the mitochondria are like the little energy powerhouses. So they're like the batteries of our cells. And that also has an effect on those. So, when you're living a life that is stressy on several different levels, you might be feeling that heavy duty fatigue that so many of us have experienced in menopause, and that could well be a reason for that. So this detox will help you to lay a really firm foundation to support you so that you have that energy and you feel like you're firing on all fours rather than sort of dragging your body around on a daily basis. I've been there, I know what it feels like, and it's a horrible feeling. But when you make a few positive changes, that goes, and then you do have that energy, and it does make a massive difference to how you approach every day. In actual fact, you just feel like you've got that va-va-voom to go and deal with the stuff of everyday life. Also, this detox, you'll probably find if you're having joint pains. I had a bit of a revelation not long ago when I stopped caffeine. my joint pains significantly reduced. I do get a little bit stiff and achy first thing when I wake up. Not achy, but I'm a little bit of stiffness in my joints, particularly my ankles and my feet. That is significantly improved since I stopped drinking caffeine. And I would encourage you to take caffeine out of your diet while you were doing this detox. I drink Teeccino, which is a completely herbal coffee. So there is no caffeine in it at all. I love it. It's Teeccino. It comes in a range of different flavors. You can get it off Amazon. I found iherb.com is really good value for it, significantly better value than Amazon. So have a shop around, but buy 1 or 2 packets to keep you going through the 10-day detox. Try and drink herbal tea instead of caffeinated tea, or if you hate herbal tea and you want to keep your tea per se, maybe try decaf for the 10 days, just so that I think the whole point of a detox is to really commit to doing it. And if you're allowing yourself the little thing here and a little thing there, you're not really doing a detox. So a detox, this is going to be a really healthy, energizing detox without starvation, without deprivation. So give yourself a chance and really embrace the fact that you're going to do this. So yeah, reduce pop. So if you drink fizzy drinks, but soda water is fine, but things like, I don't know, Coke or cola or Cherryade or things like that, again, cut those out. They are very high in sugar. If they have sugar alternatives, so those are artificial sweeteners, they're really bad for you too. If you can manage with water, you will be really setting yourself up well. And you can flavor your water. I'll drop a link to, I've got 10 cleansing, refreshing water recipes that I will share with you. So if you want to get those, give those a bash. They're, spiced up with different spices, herbs, fruits. They're absolutely delicious, and they'll, not only because they're water, they'll help because they've got the fruit and spices and things in them too. Those will also be beneficial for you. So make sure to click the link at the bottom of this, and you can get those. So you don't need to stop working. You just need to allow yourself some time to get prepped for it. I would say before you start doing this detox, about 2 weeks beforehand, actually get your head in the right space and start weaning yourself off caffeine and start reducing your sugars. If you have like a daily slice of cake, cut that out so that you're reducing the things that you're going to cut out completely when you start the detox. That way it's not going to be such a shock to your system. And maybe even do caffeine for the first 5 days, get rid of caffeine for the first 5 days. And then once you feel like you're happy with Teeccino or whatever your alternative would be, then cut out sugar or reduce your sugar, so that when on day 1 of your detox, you're ready to go and you're prepared. I will just go through a quick sort of a checklist at the end of this with you to sort of give you a good idea and sort of a plan that you can use in order to prepare before the detox actually starts. So I think people tend to think with a detox, you're going to feel awful and you're going to feel weak and bleh. There are some, I think you can buy like those detox packages off the counter, and they do tend to, you don't eat anything throughout the day, and then maybe you have a light meal at the end of the day. This isn't about that. I think, when you're sticking weird things into your bodies, or gels or powders and various things like that for these detoxes, I would just use a detox that is crowding out the bad with the good and is going to support you and your energy levels, so that it's something that you could continue beyond the 10 days if you wanted to. I think you'll get to the end of the 10 days and you'll just feel so good that you will carry on with some of those things. You might want to introduce the occasional glass of wine, or the occasional bottle of beer, or the occasional piece of dark chocolate. But you'll also notice that when you cut out the bad stuff, your cravings for those types of foods will also vanish. It's crazy how it happens, but it does work. You don't want to be restricting your calories either. Obviously, you don't want to be having an overload of calories, because that will just make you fat. but it's not about cutting out calories. You will find that when you start to incorporate some of the things I'm going to share with you today, you're probably going to be on a calorie deficit anyway, naturally. But even if not, you're going to be eating foods that are going to be beneficial for your body. So they're not going to set up those negative chain reactions, which make you hang on to fat rather than burn fat and burn calories. So first and foremost, what I would say is do something simple, like just start to drink more water on a daily basis. We need to drink more water. Most of us don't drink enough water. It does help to detoxify the body. It's really good for your digestive system. When we go through the menopause, our digestive system can become quite sluggish. It can lead to bloating, it can lead to wind, it can lead to cramping, and it can be really uncomfortable. So by drinking more water, you're just going to be helping your digestion. Get things prepped in advance. So nearer the sort of start date of your 10-day detox, make sure you get rid of temptations out of the kitchen. So get rid of the crisps, get rid of the salted peanuts, get rid of the packets of biscuits, get rid of the ready-made pasta sauces. I really encourage you to make your own. Same with salad dressings, are incredibly full or high in sugar and salt. Get good at reading labels. To be honest, at home, I prepare everything. So yeah, I do use tinned tomatoes instead of like a whole bunch of tomatoes. If I'm making like a pasta sauce, it's a lot quicker for me. There's no point in making life super tricky, but rather than buying like a big ready-made jar of pasta sauce, there's other stuff that's in it that is not good for you. At least if you're starting with the raw ingredients yourself, and they're so easy, it's so easy to make. And if you're not sure, just Google how to make pasta sauce. I'm going to share a link with you. In fact, if you look up now, you'll see a little link to my meal prep on my Trello board tutorial. I do meal prepping every week. I also cook a very large meal 3 or 4 times a week for the entire family. And I like to prepare in advance what I'm going to do so that I know I can go shopping and get the whole lot done. I hate it when I have to keep going back out to the shops to go and get food. So I'll add the link here and then take a look at that. That might just give you some ideas as to how to get a bit more, I don't know, exciting with your recipes. I think we tend to stick to like the same 3 or 5 and they can get a bit boring. Since I started using the Trello board, it's been a really easy way for me to collect recipes that I like and to categorize recipes and to find them again when I remember, that was an amazing butternut squash meal that I made. So I can type in butternut squash and all the butternut squash meals pop up and it's very easy for me to find. So take a look at that. I think you might find that quite helpful. If you're a visual learner, I think you'll love it. I use Trello for everything. I've got a whole series. I use it for my business every day. It's probably my most used app and it's free. If you struggle with, if you don't live near to a shop or your salad is not going to last, keep fresh from day 1 through to, it won't keep fresh through to day 10. It might make day 5. You can buy frozen vegetables. You can tinned vegetables. I always buy a load of frozen cauliflower. I buy frozen spinach. I buy fresh Savoy cabbages and fresh romaine lettuce and fresh iceberg lettuce and things like that, because those actually last quite well. Obviously big amounts of tomatoes, aubergines, courgettes, those sorts of things. So, you can stock up on those things. They will last quite a long time, but individual salad leaves, like you get in the salad bags, if you're passing the shop, it's easy for you. But if you're not, maybe get salad for the sort of the first section of the detox and then move more into vegetables, lots of green vegetables. You're going to want to be eating more vegetables if possible, ideally 3 times a day, but if you can't, try and do it twice a day. I make sure that I have a superfood shake every day. It also contains protein, but it also contains, it's about the equivalent of about 7 bags of salad in it. So it's got all the potassium and the magnesium and things like that we get from green vegetables, loads of antioxidants and adaptogen herbs, which I absolutely swear by. Protein, during the menopause, we actually need to eat a little bit more protein than we normally would. As we go through the menopause, because of the change in our hormones, our muscles atrophy faster. So you might think, you've got like flabby bits on the backs of your arms and you're thinking, it's cellulite. It's probably not. It's probably your skin is obviously aging a little bit. but it's the lack of muscle tone. So that's why I always recommend people do strength training and some sort of weighted cardio and HIIT training ideally during menopause and beyond, because it helps keep us looking toned, helps keep you feeling healthier as well. But that, just as an aside, our muscles atrophy very fast, or will atrophy if we don't use them and work them during and after menopause. You might find also if you're lacking in protein, some people say to me, oh, my skin has suddenly just gone wrinkly and it just looks awful. It could be a sign that you're not eating enough protein. It really could be. I've actually written that down. So I did, because I'm terrible at remembering numbers. Women over 50 should eat, let's have a little look, 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily, ideally. So whether you're vegan, veggie, omnivorous, just make sure that you're getting enough protein. At breakfast time, if I'm not eating eggs, I love eggs and I bake my own bread. And we have home laid eggs at home. If I'm not eating egg for breakfast, I tend to have some oats, a little bit of low sugar granola, so just nutty stuff, with a big scoop of Greek yogurt with live bacteria in it. I also sprinkle some of my superfoods on top, again, because that's got very healthy bacteria in it and it contains a little bit of protein. And I have that either with soya milk or a nut milk. I do. A lot of people have in fact, most of us have an intolerance to dairy of some sorts. It's very mucus forming. If you drink cow's milk, I highly recommend you drink organic cow's milk, just because of the hormones and things they pump the cows with to make their calves grow fast. It probably makes us grow fast too. We're also the only mammal that drinks the milk of another mammal on the planet. Our nearest relative is a monkey. Could you imagine drinking the monkey's milk? But for some reason we drink cow's milk. You'll find also, if you have spotty skin, if you currently drink and eat dairy, your skin will clear up too. Dairy is really inflammatory in the body. I know people say, oh yeah, but we need it for calcium. If you eat a plentiful amount of green vegetables, you're going to get plenty of calcium. There are other ways to get calcium, and it doesn't have to be through dairy. So the only dairy I do tend to eat is I do have grass-fed butter. I love butter, and I do have that scoop of that organic yogurt with live bacteria on my cereals on my oats in the morning. And then for lunchtime, I always have a late lunch. I have my superfood shake, which contains protein, but I add frozen cauliflower into that. And I sometimes have that with water, or sometimes I mix it up with a nut milk. And then in the evening, I either have like a small piece of fish, or I have a vegan meal. I love beans. I love legumes. I love quinoa. Quinoa is a full protein. But it's really important that, that you're getting sufficient protein, however your protein sources, work out best for you. I start every single day with a warm pint of water with either a dash of apple cider vinegar in it, or the juice of half a freshly squeezed lemon. Now, whichever one of those you use, they're both really good for you. You're going to get added vitamins, minerals. It stimulates your digestive system. It's really good for healthy gut bacteria. It helps detoxify the body, helps get you going in the morning. And so literally that is the first thing. I go downstairs, I let the dogs out, and I pour my water with my lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, put a bit of hot water on top, and literally just glug that straight away. So at least I know I've sort of got my system started, and it works incredibly well. So I do encourage you to start doing that as a necessity every single day. You could start that today. If you take nothing more from this and just do that every day, you're still going to have an improvement in how your system functions. So just be aware of that. Healthy fats are incredibly important. Fats still seem to get a bad rap, but they're vital for our body. They're vital for our nervous system, our brain function, particularly if you're getting brain fog. Do the things that are going to support you through the menopause. And healthy fats, obviously you don't want to have overdo the healthy fats, but you do need healthy fats in your diet. So that's things like coconut oil, olive oil, avocados, avocado oil, grass-fed butter to a degree. So yes, and some of those are quite high in saturated fat. Saturated fat's not bad. We just don't want to have too much of it. As a healthy snack every day, I have a handful of raw nuts, and I also have a couple of dates. Dates, okay, they're dried fruit, so they're relatively high in sugar, but they're really good. They contain boron, which is very beneficial for us through the menopause, as do avocados actually, and a range of other nuts. So if you use nuts and avocados, and you're getting a plentiful supply of healthy fats, you're going to be ticking the boxes that you need to tick for your menopause health as well. If you need to have sugar, I suggest you cut sugar out completely. Sugar is inflammatory, it's acidic. If you are struggling with any autoimmune disease, if you are battling cancer, anything that sort of works upon an inflammatory response of some sort, cut out sugar and never have it back again if you really want to make a difference to your the quality of your life. We have natural sugar in our fruits and vegetables. We do not need to add sugar to the stuff that we eat, which is one of the reasons why I will not buy shop bought salad dressings or pasta sauces, because they just bung it in. In fact, the other day we took a breakfast up onto a very high peak. We set off in the pitch black and walked up a very high trail so we could prepare our breakfast up at the top and watch the sunrise. And we bought some healthy brown wholemeal baps to put our breakfast stuff in. And literally I took a bite out of it. It's just like, oh my God, this is so sweet, this bap was. I bake all my own bread at home. If you bake your own bread at home, you also do not need to add sugar. You also do not need to add milk powder. Every loaf I make contains yeast, flour, salt, sea salt, sesame oil or olive oil, and water. And it makes the most amazing loaf. So you do not need sugar in your bread making if that's what you're doing, just as an aside. So try and cut out sugar as much as you can. And if you do need a bit of a sweetener, something like stevia, which is a plant, it's natural, it's very, very sweet. You only need a tiny amount from it, but most supermarkets actually sell stevia now in packs. So, sorry, my dog's busy barking. So, maybe use that as a slight alternative. If you cannot stand stevia, because I know some people don't like stevia, maybe just use a small amount of honey, raw sugar, something along those lines, so that you can get a little bit of sweetness, but at least it's a healthy sweetness rather than a sort of processed sugar granule. Cut out all processed foods. You do not need them. They are loaded with chemicals, all the bad stuff that's designed to keep you going back for more. If you're committing to a detox, absolutely commit to it. And that does not mean passing by the drive-thru on the way home because you forgot to prepare dinner. You'll just have to go home and prepare dinner fast. And finally, just breathing as well. Now, I mentioned how I love to spend a few minutes lying on my back, my feet up in the air. You can combine that with deep breathing. Deep breathing is really beneficial for our lymphatic system, as well as oxygenating the body. It helps to detox the body. But our lymphatic system doesn't actually have a pump. So we've got our circulatory system, these are our heart and blood vessels, and then we've got our lymphatic system. And the lymph is very much tied into our immune system, and it takes away the sort of the toxins out of our bodies, but it doesn't have a pump. And the way the lymphatic system is stimulated is when we move, and also through deep breathing. So, if you've got a fairly active lifestyle, your lymphatic system's probably fine, but deep breathing is also really going to stimulate that. And you'll stimulate the relaxation response in your body as well, which is going to give you beneficial hormones. And it's also just time for you on a daily basis. Let this detox be a time of learning how to thrive and getting back to you after if you've been on holiday, maybe eating a bit more than you wanted to eat, maybe drinking a bit more than you would normally drink. And children are going back to school or university or away doing their stuff. And I think the sort of the start of the autumn or start of September is a great time to think, okay, let's just draw a line. Let's have a few months of healthier living, and then you can get into the festive period feeling really happy with where you're at, and you're likely to make better choices as you go into the festive period, or even Halloween. That's coming up very soon too. But at least you've had a short period of time where you sort of set yourself up for success. So in essence, what you want to be doing. In fact, I'm just going to go to a plan that I wrote out quickly for you earlier. So 2 weeks before you start your detox, you are going to start to reduce your caffeine and your tea and the fizzy drinks that you're drinking. You don't have to cut it out straight away, but just cut it back. So if you have 5 cups of coffee a day, cut it back to 3 and then work it down to 2. Try tea chino as a coffee alternative. I love it. I swear by it. Or if not, get some decaffeinated coffee, decaffeinated tea bags. If you can, I would get proper coffee grains, not the granules, because they've been processed. They've gone through. There's some kind of chemical interaction that goes on there as well. Ideally, just have water. You can have sparkling water. And of course, I'll add the link to those 10 cleansing water recipes. So the first sort of 2 weeks away, you want to be cutting down on your sugars. You want to be cutting down on your fizzy drinks. You want to be cutting down on your teas and your coffee. About 7 days in, what I would also 7 days to go to the beginning of your detox, really focus on getting good at drinking more water. As a rule, you need to, weigh yourself in pounds and divide that answer by 2. And in fluid ounces, that's the amount of water you should drink. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 fluid ounces of water every day. If you daren't get on the scales, just drink sufficient water that your pee looks like straw, a pale straw color. I know some people don't have scales. Some people don't want to get on the scales. That's absolutely fine. If your pee is a pale straw color, you're drinking enough. That's absolutely fine. 5 days before you start your detox, go work out what recipes you're going to use. Work out what you're going to prepare for your meals. When you're prepared, it cuts out that you get back from work and you're starving hungry and you grab the first thing because your brain is just crying out for the quick fix. If you've prepared it in advance, you're unlikely to stumble and get stuck on that, I've got to have it and grab it, and then you regret doing it afterwards. 4 days left before you start your detox. Work out how you're going to spend your 30 minutes of you time. Are you going to go for a daily walk? Are you going to lie on the floor with your feet up on the wall and do some deep breathing and listen to an audio book? So work out how I want you to plan what your 30 minutes of you time is going to be and schedule it in your diary. Decide when you're going to do it. You might have to get up a little bit earlier to do it. You might have to avoid a little bit of television in the evening to do it, but just make sure that you are doing your 30 minutes for you time every day. It's just going to help you on every single level. With 3 days to go, cut out your temptation food. So clear your pantry, clear your kitchen, get rid of the biscuits, get rid of the cookies, get rid of the crisps, get rid of the salted peanuts, get rid of the wine, get rid of the beer. Just hide it for a while. And then if it's not there, even if you want to eat it, you can't. That's whenever I go teetotal, I get rid of all the alcohol. So it's not there. So even if I really feel like a glass of wine, I can't have it because I've not bought it. So get rid of the temptation. T minus 2 days. So 2 days before you start your detox, go and do your shopping. You've worked out what you're going to be cooking and preparing. Go and get your shopping done. Do it ideally in one big shop so you can come back and you've got it all organized. And then I would say the day before you start your detox, get onto Audible or get onto Amazon and have a look for an audio book that really appeals to you. So whether it's building more confidence, whether it's better on your time management, whether it's creating healthy habits, whether it's supporting you more spiritually, whatever it might be that you feel you need to focus on right now. And in fact, if you have no idea what you need to focus on, literally just sit down, close your eyes and ask yourself, what do I need to focus on? What does me want? What do I need to do to make myself feel better? And an answer will come forward. It's really weird and wacky how it happens, but just ask yourself, close your eyes, sit down, take a few deep breaths and just ask yourself, how can you support yourself best? And it will give you an answer. And then have a Google and see what book you can find that's going to support you in that aspect. And then commit to doing it. It's only 10 days. You're going to feel, I promise you, you're going to feel amazing afterwards. If you want some support with, if you wanted to combine the 10-day detox with like our 14-day of free workouts, you're more than welcome to do that. just send me a message, or I'll drop a link below. If you want to combine it with fitness, you can do that too. We have fitness right from like beginner level yoga to crazy level athletic stuff. We have dancing, we have more cardio, we have strength training, we have Tai Chi, which is a form of Tai Chi. We have something that to suit everyone. So if you really think, yeah, I want to do detox, but I also really want to have, you know, some physical aspect to it as well, then that's fine. You could even do the running program that I'm doing right now if you like running, or you want to get running. If you want to start running, that's what I use to start running. It's brilliant. It's only 20 minutes a day, and she's fantastic. She's a national track athlete in Spain, Spanish national track athlete. She really knows her stuff, and she doesn't push you too hard. She just pushes you enough, but she changes it up every day. It's a really clever plan that she follows with us. So you could do that as well. So I will leave you with that. If you found this helpful, please share it with friends or family that might need a little bit of support. Hit the subscribe button if you want to make sure you don't miss future Menopause Mondays. And if you've got anything you want me to cover specifically, send me a message and I'll make sure to add it to the queue. So, but again, just briefly, drink more water. Make sure you're prioritizing your sleep. I didn't actually go over sleep, but I think, you know, make sure you are getting to bed early enough to support you during this 10-day period. More fruits and veggies. Fruits, try and eat berries rather than the bananas. The banana's very high in sugar. They're not bad for you, but if you're going to have a banana, have half a banana. That's all you actually need. Try and focus more on berries. Maybe put berries on your cornflakes or your cereals in the morning. Start reading the backs of packets so that you know what you're getting. Try and cook from scratch. Eat lean protein, healthy protein, ideally 3 times a day. And I think that was about it, really. And give yourself some grace. Have some fun with it. I'm doing it as well. I've had a busy summer, and I need to get my my Kate brain back into some order. It's been a little bit frantic recently, so I'm going to be starting more. To be honest, I do most of these things every day anyway, but I could do with cutting out wine and just prioritizing sleep and getting more clear on my daily schedule. I've already worked on my daily schedule. I've set up another Trello board on my daily schedule, and it just helps give me clarity around a very, very busy life at the moment. So I hope it's been helpful. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you soon.